Okay, once you are logged into WordPress, I want to show you how you can create customized menus for your site. The thing about a customized menu, in fact, here I'll just go ahead and show you. If you go to Appearance, you can hover where it says Menus and you click on Menus. Okay, so why don't you go ahead and do that right now on your WordPress site. You go into Menu and you will see, for example, menu name. You can enter a menu name here. So let's say I want to create a main menu for my site. I'm just going to call it main. Okay? You just give it a name. Whatever the name is, it's up to you. You're not going to see it on the site. It's just your way of knowing which menu it is. And then click Create Menu. Okay? Now, what's beautiful about the menu here, guys, you can customize it any way you want. So what you can do is you can add a custom link to your menu. Let's say you want to link to an external website. So you're just going to connect to like some other website. I'll use the school's website address. So I put schools.hsd.k12.or.us/Century. And I can label it Century Home, whatever I want to do, and I can click Add to Menu. And so that drops it. There's one of my menu items. Okay, so you can do your own customized link and drop it right there in the menu, and that will appear on whatever page you give the main menu. And now, if you look under where it says Theme Locations, it says your theme supports one menu. Select which menu you would like to use. Well, let's use the main menu. If I don't, it'll just take over and do whatever it thinks is the right thing to do. We want to be in control, so I'm going to say that my theme is going to use the main menu for its primary menu. Now, some themes allow for more than one menu. They'll have a primary and a secondary, in which case then you can create a second menu here by clicking Add Menu and start working on it. Well, let me jump down. That was custom links. I'm going to hide this, so I click here. That's gone. Now, if I create a new page, I could create a page and add it to the menu, and I haven't done that yet. I'll do that in a moment. And then if I look under categories, if I've created a category, I have one for web design, one for Photoshop, I select those two and I click Add to Menu, and now those are going to go into my menu. And so now I have 3 links on my menu. Now if I think this should be at the bottom, I just drag it down. See that? And I can save the menu once I've done work on it. Notice web design, Photoshop, Century Home. Now, I don't recommend you do that, but I'm just showing you could. And let's go to the main page and just click on it. And you go to the home page. You're going to see those 3 links now. So they're in the menu, web design, Photoshop, Century Home. Wasn't that easy? Okay. And we can go back to the dashboard. And let's play around a little bit more. Let's add some more categories. So, let's add a page too. Let's start with categories, though. We're going to add a new category. And let's say, I said categories. There we go. Categories. I must have clicked the wrong link. Okay, so I have web design. Oh, look, there's a category of HTML5, and it is a child page of web design. Let's add another one for CSS. And maybe we'll do one for CSS3. You can showcase your CSS prowess. Remember, the idea here is the name is what appears in the menu. The slug is actually going to look like a folder. It's going to, like whatever your WordPress site is called, whatever .com, you might have a /CSS, and it's actually going to create it. It's going to look like the link is in a CSS folder, or a CSS3 in this case. We're going to give it a parent of web design. So now under web design, I'm going to have an HTML5 and a CSS3. I'm going to skip description for now, but I can add it at any time by editing my existing category. So now under web design, I have CSS3 and HTML5. And I'm thinking under Photoshop, why don't I have a category of sort of my own Photoshop gallery? So let's say I'm going to do like a website that's going to be a portfolio of my work. Okay, so under Photoshop, I could just have a gallery. And then I'll take my best work from Photoshop and drop it into the gallery. Now, on the slug, I don't have to put Photoshop /gallery. I could just put gallery, but I think I'll do that since it's going to be a child of Photoshop. And for the parent, I choose Photoshop. So I'm going to add the category. And now that I'm done adding the category, you can see these are just categories. And when I go to create an entry into my blog, we call it, but I go to add an entry, a post entry, I can choose what categories it belongs to, and I'll show you that in a moment. But I really want to focus on the whole menu idea here. So now I've got a bunch of different categories, and I want to go back to my menu now. So I hover over Appearance, I go down to Menus, and I select it. And wait a moment. Now, one of the things I noticed was in my categories, I couldn't see those other categories. And you know why? It's because I'm only seeing categories that I already have a post on. But if I click View All, you will now see, there's Gallery, CSS3, HTML5. I'm going to select those three, and I'm going to add those to the menu. So now they're all going to be on the menu, but I have a problem. My problem is these are all they're all going to be on the menu, but I want my gallery to be under Photoshop. So notice what I did. I have Photoshop, now I have gallery. And the CSS3 and HTML5 should go under web design. So I move that. And look at this. If it's tabbed on the far left, this becomes a main menu item. And if I move it to the right one, this CSS3 becomes a child of web design. So pause for a moment. Look at the way this is set up. Web design and then tabbed over are two menu items. Then Photoshop is on the far left and tabbed over is gallery. Now I'm going to save that menu. And now once you've done that, I want you to go look at your main page and look at the menu. So when we're done, now we have a menu that says Web Design, Photoshop, Century Home. Now if I hover over Web Design, I get my two child ones, HTML5, CSS3. And under Photoshop, I've got Gallery. So wasn't that nice? You know, you create your menu items, you tab them over, you slide them left or right, wherever you want them, and then they can be drop-down menus, or you can style it to work differently. So what I'd like you guys to do is kind of work on your own menu, figure out what categories you're going to have. If, for example, you're doing a site you already have an idea, you're doing it for a client, and you're trying to build a website for their small business, then you might have an About Us, and then you might have one for the products that they sell, and they might have, whatever else, like a contact page or whatever. If you're doing this as your own portfolio of your work, you might want to have something designed kind of like that. Where under web design, you'll have HTML5, CSS3, and then you might have just a regular CSS, or you might have a subcategory called templates, whatever. So figure out the kinds of stuff you've done and what you would want to highlight, and you create your menu items, and then create a menu. Now at this point, if I click on Photoshop, it's going to take me to anything that falls under my category of Photoshop. And there's one post in here. Now if I hover over Gallery, it's not going to find anything because I haven't created anything. Nothing found. Okay. So eventually I need to add a post entry that has Gallery as the category. Okay, until I do, this won't work. It'll just say nothing found because I haven't created anything yet. Oh, the other thing I mentioned is that we're going to create a page. I'm going to create an About Me page. And I'm going to replace that Century Home. But look, if I click it, you can see it. It'll take me to the page where I told it to go. So it's really nice if you want to maybe link to some other work that you've done or link to another site, but put it in your menu. You can do that now. So let me just show you creating a page, because that's important for you to know how to do. So we're going to go to the dashboard. And you're going to go, instead of posts, you're going to go to pages, and you're going to add a new page. Now when you go to add a page, it's like a post, only we call this a static page. So on a post, for example, you might create new content and you give it a category title. Well, that page will automatically adjust as you create new posts. But a page is something like an About Me page, or just you can call it About. And here it's going to be something that's really not going to change very often. So anything that's kind of more static, a Contact Us page, just an About page, anything like that where the content doesn't change a lot, make it a page instead. So now a couple things you should be aware of when you create a page. This works on posts. You have this thing called the kitchen sink. If you click on it, you can now create a heading. So I can put background as a heading, and I was born a young child in a land far away. Okay, whatever. So you create your kind of background information, and then you could talk about projects or whatever. And then you can, put in your content, add more content here. For now, I'm not going to do much. If you want to create a hyperlink, you can just highlight your text, like Arizona, and then I can click on the link here, and then now I can go to URL. If I click this, it'll open into a new window, and I can just add the link right here, just like that. If you want to make it a bullet point, under your project, you might bullet point it out. It's pretty easy to work with. Another thing you might want to think about doing is adding media. I think we went over that in the last time. I got a video of it. So you can add your stuff, and when you're ready, you can publish it. But before you do, I want to go over one other thing here. Is your page can have parent pages. I'm not going to give it a parent because it's an about page. It's just there's nothing it falls under. And if you create other templates, you can choose what template you would like that to look like. Is that like a front page template? Is it a full width page template without a sidebar? Or is it just a default template? And one of the things we're going to do in future assignments is we're actually going to create our own original templates that then we will be able to use on our site. And that is going to be the bulk of what we are going to do. But for now, just click Publish. By the way, did you notice it says order and it has 0? You can order your pages by giving it a different number. If you want it to come after a different page, like maybe about should be ordered number 10, and you want something to come before it, you could give a number of 9, and on the default menu, it will appear before the other. But at this point, we have a page we've created. We've saved it. It's on our site. And now I can go back to our menu, and I can add that page to the menu. So let's just do that real quick. And now if you go to Pages, there it is, About. See, it's already created. And I can just add that to the menu. There it is. And then I can remove this from the menu, the Century Home, and I can click Remove. Get rid of it. Now I have About, Photoshop. There we go. I can save my menu. And now, if I go back to my site, it'll have the new menu will be updated. Okay, so now I have the About page. If I click on it, it takes me to a page. Okay. So I'd like you to play around with creating categories and maybe pages. Start working on that. Don't worry about the style. We will do that next. If there's time today, we'll begin. If not, we will do that the next time we meet. I'll show you how to import a theme, and I'm gonna have you all create what's called a responsive theme. You're gonna pull in a responsive theme. We're gonna create a child theme. So you're gonna override the styles. You're gonna give it colors. You can apply other styles to it, and then we'll get really fancy. We'll create original homepage templates that you can do just about anything, and it gets pretty cool what you can do with it.